Welcome to Business Spotlight. I'm Rob Andrew, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Martina Cowen from Martina Cowen Nutritional Therapy.
Hello,
Hi,
Rob.
Martina. Great to have you with us today.
Lovely to be here. Thank you.
Excellent. Martina, please tell us a little bit more about yourself and your business.
Okay, so as you said, my business is called Martina Cowen Nutritional Therapy, and that's exactly what I do. So what I work with clients, helping them with their diet, helping them with specific aspects of their lifestyle. But the specific focus of my business is around snacking and cravings and overcoming those habits. And in order to do that, I use tools from both the nutrition world, but also from psychology and neuro-linguistic programming.
Okay. And actually, Martina, what makes you different or stand out from your competitors then?
I guess what makes me different is this combination, is the fact that I not only work with the food and what clients eat, but their mindset around it, and just being aware of certain aspects of our behavior that perhaps just focusing on the nutrition front wouldn't really look at. So I use everything. I use all the tools that I have at my disposal to make sure that the clients see a positive shift in their behavior for lasting change. And that's the key for me, that these changes actually last. That's the thing.
Okay, that's really interesting. And in terms of then, so you tackle both the nutritional side of it, but also then go into psychology, and that you feel is very different to perhaps what other people offer.
It is, and it's very potent. You know, I have a psychology background, so I just bring the two worlds together because I think they just beautifully complement each other. And while we, oftentimes purely focus on the nutrition, we equally need to look at how's that person actually processing the changes, and could there be something within their mindset, their habits, that's stopping them progressing and making changes that would then have a beneficial impact on their life. And that's the area where I really want to come in and start changing.
Wow, that's really interesting, Martina. Thank you. So tell us what's your journey been like to date?
So to date, really, I've started in, I guess my journey goes a little bit, well, quite far back actually. And I'll start with this story. I'll just very briefly mention it. I first got inspired to focus in this field by my grandmother, who gave me a book called The Nutrition Diet when I was about 8 years old. And for me, it was a major revelation, and I wanted to tell everyone around it about it because it was just so, the information in there was just so important for people to realize. But as I grew older, I realized that it's not always just the food, but actually the mind plays a huge, huge part in our behavior. And, food-related behavior is no different. And further after that, I actually realized, okay, so we've got these two, but what about the cooking side of it? So I became a chef. So I've got these three areas which I really like putting together because for me, that's quite powerful. So over the years, I started with psychology training, then I became a chef, and the last one was the nutrition. That enabled me to put it all together. And I've been in practice since 2016. Now, during that time, I've worked for functional medicine labs, helping people interpret test results to get a lot of information, get to the cutting edge of research in nutrition, in the impact of nutrition on the body, etc. But since 2016, I've had my business, so I've helped hundreds of clients. And now I kind of want to bring all of my learnings together, package it up, and enable others to really harness the potential of all of this and help themselves.
Wow, that's a fascinating story. I mean, that's incredible. It sounds, this isn't obviously just a business for you. It's a passion.
Oh, absolutely.
You've had throughout your life, really. So it's incredible.
It's a very deep what's it called? Conviction that anyone can do this. anyone can really do the best they can for their health, and while it not be something that you dread, that all you ever eat it will be vegetables, that you won't enjoy yourself or anything like that. I think that's the narrative that's can be harmful in itself. That perception that, you know, living well means denying yourself certain things. I think that kind of needs to alter or shift a little bit, because once you enable that shift, again, you are welcoming changes that could mean a lot for your health.
That's interesting. So your feeling is that the message generally is over the years has been wrong. That it's that to eat healthily doesn't mean that it tastes bad. Or
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. 100%, Rob. It does not need to taste boring. You know, well prepared food doesn't all need to be just steamed. There are so many different ways that we can prepare really delicious and highly nutritious meals that are thoroughly enjoyable, not that difficult to make, and, you know, something that you can really look forward to.
Wonderful, wonderful. We need to change our messaging then.
Well, I think so. One person at a time. Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, then looking forward, then what does the future look like, and what do you see the main challenges will be for you and the business moving forward?
Okay. That's an interesting question. I guess the way forward is, for me in my business, and I'll speak about my program in just a minute, but it will be around letting people know about my offer, as wide an audience as possible, so as many people can benefit from this as they can, really. What was the second part of the question, Rob?
What do you see as the main challenges then going forward?
I'm not sure. That's a tricky one. From perspective, if I'm doing a good enough job, then a wide audience of people will get to hear about what I offer, and either will engage with it or won't engage with it. That's absolutely fine. It clearly will speak to somebody who is in that situation where they're looking to make a change and they don't know how to make a change. And those are the people that I speak to. If you know people are perfectly happy where they're at, then fantastic, wonderful. But I guess my main challenge will be to spread the word, to really let as many people know about this as possible.
So it's basically broadcasting, letting people know there's somewhere or someone out there that they can reach out to,
Exactly,
and discuss their challenges. Okay.
That's right. That bridges these three areas, which for me personally, they very much link together.
Okay, interesting. Martina, as a business owner, how do you balance your personal life with the demands of running the business?
This is still work in progress, I've got to say, and I think it depends what I'm currently working on. If I'm working on something that's quite intensive, then that time it can be quite challenging, because the work, you know, especially if you love what you do, you can get totally sucked into just really channeling a lot of energy, a lot of time to it. But having that balance between the professional and personal life is really important, because then if you don't have that, you can't recharge. So that wouldn't really work. So I'm quite strict with, I don't work at the weekend now. But
Right.
during the week, if I am writing something that's really big or anything like that, then I do work extended hours. But then I make sure, absolutely, I don't work at the weekend. And that's how I manage it. Normally, though, if I finished writing and it's the day-to-day stuff, then I finish at 5 o'clock and that's it. And that feels great.
Yeah, it's great. I think you're right what you said at the start there. It's for most business owners, I think it's always a work in progress. I'm not sure if it's a journey you ever get to the end of, but
I don't know either.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We shall.
Martina, who or what inspires you currently?
I think there's a lot of people who inspire me. There's a lot of people that I follow. I don't know if you know, I love Marie Forleo. she's a female coach,
Uh-huh.
and very much coaches around the topic of everything is figure outable. So every issue that you have that you think is just an insurmountable challenge, she talks very much around you break it down, and if you break it down small enough into small enough components, then you've got the steps that are then, you know, fully manageable, that you can actually work through things. And I've been using that sort of methodology and that mindset in many of the aspects of what I do. So I just break everything to the tiniest proportion so it doesn't seem too big, and then I follow one step at a time, and that's it.
So baby steps
Baby steps,
is
essentially,
your
but in
answer.
a very specific way. Because again, if you break down that big beast of a challenge, then it does have to follow certain sequence, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think if you the one who does the breakdown, then you can in your mind see how one leads to another, and that gives you that pathway through it to the other end, so that you actually complete it. And yes, so I find that extremely inspirational, and that's what I'm working with at the moment.
Absolutely. Well, that sounds great. It's I was going to say it's like how do you say how do you eat an elephant?
But exactly that.
Right. But given your industry, perhaps it's not the the right approach, eating elephants.
Perhaps not.
Okay, thank you, Martina. What is the best advice you would give to a younger person just starting out on their with perhaps opening their business?
Go for it and don't hold back. Everyone has something to offer. And I think if you figure out what is special about you, and you are clear about it, then your messaging to other people will be that much clearer. If you are unclear about it, what you can offer, then nobody else will understand fully either.
Wonderful.
So that's why I think just go for it, challenge yourself, go into situations where, yes, you will fail and you learn from it, but throughout it, do figure out what is different about you, about your business, and what your offer is. Because once you know that conversation, that messaging all around the business, it will just flow, and it will just make it so much clearer for other people to either resonate with it or go, perhaps not now, but at least I know somebody who does that, so I can recommend them.
Excellent. Martina, that was really clear and very direct. So I'm sure listeners would really find that useful. Just starting out.
Good.
Okay, last question then, to wrap up. So, have you got any news or announcements you would like to make going on in your business at the moment? You talked about new programs.
I do, Rob, and I'm super excited about this. I am going to be launching my Freedom from Cravings program. It's going to be launching on the 2nd of October. And it's a program that essentially works through the variety of blocks that we can put on ourselves that kind of keep us within certain behaviors, so certain habits, and we might find it very difficult to break out of it. What's different about this program is that this is not a meal plan program. This is not a prescription program where I tell you to eat this, 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 and that's only it. I work with the mind. So there are 9 modules in this program, and only 1 module is actually devoted to food. All the other modules are all about rewiring the brain. So it's firstly understanding what's happening and what makes it so difficult to break out of habits. Then it becomes about breaking those habits down and rebuilding new habits, and new habits that link you with that health goal that you really want to get. And throughout it will also make it very clear. So you work on what does that look like. So the program is quite in depth, but it's very, very different. So what I would expect people to get at the end of it is a new set of habits that relate to food, good relationship with food, and purely knowing that they have control over snacking. So if they want to have a snack, they're doing it very consciously, but they have the choice and they give themselves the choice. They are no longer kind of shackled to the snacks or to their cravings, where it's the craving that drives the behavior. They have very much of a clarity, choice, and a great relationship with food.
Okay, wow, that's interesting. So you said 9 modules in these programs, and how long on average would you see that taking? I mean, how long do people sign up
9
for?
weeks.
It's 9 weeks. So
that's right. So each module is broken down into lessons. All the lessons are quite short. I don't want people to stay at the computer for hours. Quite short. And there's also a workbook or some sort of document, handouts, etc., with each of the modules, so that they can work and apply those lessons directly to themselves. Each week we also meet up. We discuss that module particularly each week. Any challenges that anyone's had, we talk them through, we answer any questions, but basically we kind of spur people on, just, yes, you're doing great, let's keep going. Because I think that is really important, that you have somebody that can answer your questions if you have any questions. And if anyone has any challenges, I'm there to help. But it's a 9-week course, so 9 modules throughout that time, but it's totally up to the people to really see how quickly they want to run through it. It's absolutely possible to run through it quicker, but I would say actually give it the 9 weeks, because those workbooks and applying it to yourselves, that's where the beauty happens. That's where the change really happens. It's not just the lessons themselves, but it's, well, what does that mean for me? How does my experience fit in this? And how does my own brain fit in this? And that's what it is.
And interesting, you said so. So it's broken down into individual modules, and then you said there's a support session every week as well. Is that in a group format or individual?
Absolutely, yes.
Group format as well.
Yes.
Okay, and you talked a lot about support as well as they go through the program, and people can reach out to you for that support if required. Is that correct?
That's right. Plus, we have a private Facebook group where people can just ask questions, because if you're having a question, most likely other people will have very similar question. So sharing that is really important. And then when I'm answering to one, I'm answering to everyone, because not everyone's always brave to ask the questions, but maybe somebody else will, and that can help them as well.
Absolutely. That's excellent and fascinating. I wish you all the best with the launch of the program. You said it's on the 2nd of October, yes? 2nd
of October, absolutely.
Superb. And in the meantime, if anybody wants to get in contact with you, where should they reach out to?
Okay, so my website is called freedomfromcravings.co.uk, and people can reach me there. Okay. Alternatively, via Facebook, where I'm under Martina Cowen Nutritional Therapy, or Instagram, Martina Cowen Nutrition.
Excellent. Martina, well, thank you very much for sharing your time and knowledge, and I'm very interested to hear how the launch goes in October.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Sounds like you've got a lot of work to get through in the next few weeks.
Absolutely, but it's all great.
Okay, well, thanks again and good luck going forward.
Thank you very much.